Welcome back. When it comes to studying Massachusetts history, most of the focus, we talk about the Freedom Trail and the Revolutionary War, but slavery played a pivotal role in building the country and the Commonwealth.
As part of Black Heritage Month, NBC 10's Latoya Edwards visited a former plantation turned museum where this painful part of the past is being brought to life by an extraordinary woman. Her story is new at 6.
Much of this Medford neighborhood used to be a plantation owned by Isaac Royall Jr. His land was about the size of 50 Boston Commons. Now, 2 buildings remain. Inside, the Royalls enslaved at least 60 men, women, and children, more than anyone in Massachusetts.
When you walk into the museum, I think this is the most important panel that we have because it lists all of the names of the enslaved people who we know about.
And there are many more, according to Kiera Singleton, executive director of the Royall House and Slave Quarters.
The slave quarters is really important because it is the only freestanding slave quarters that exist in the North.
Singleton studies official records and archaeological evidence dug up on site to piece together stories of the past.
Let's head outside.
We walk across a small yard just steps away from the main house where the Royals lived and entertained.
There were at least 5 enslaved people who slept in this kitchen.
This is where you work, this is where you're beaten, then sleep right here on the floor. Wow.
This space was used for storage. Enslaved people slept and worked here too, sewing and dressing members of the royal family.
Enslaved people are constantly being put into these spaces that strip them of their own sense of privacy
And dignity.
So I want to show you just how close this bedroom is to the Royals' main bedroom.
Wow.
Very different.
Completely different.
If we think about the proximity of these spaces, it allows us to think about the intimacy of slavery, the fact that enslaved people are literally steps away from the Royals. What kind of violence does that open them up to?
While Massachusetts was the first colony to abolish slavery, Singleton reminds us it was also the first to legalize it.
There was this nonsensical myth that the North had the good slavery compared to the South.
Slavery does not look the way that we have been taught that slavery looks in the South. We're so used to seeing enslaved people picking cotton or picking tobacco.
Those are not our crops.
Those are not the crops here. You know, they're in taverns, they're in distilleries, they're in homes, they're in all different types of businesses in the North.
Singleton says most families had 1 to 2 enslaved people in their homes.
How can I make this a site in which people can come and reckon not only with the past but also with today? How can we connect it to the issues, whether that's mass incarceration, whether that's gentrification, whether that's public health disparities?
I mean, it's amazing, but it's also extremely hard to be in here.
It's a hard history, but it's not just Black history. This is American history. This is a shared history, and I think it's important that when we talk about that, then we can acknowledge the truth of it all.
Latoya Edwards, NBC 10 Boston.
Isaac Royall made a donation to Harvard in 1781 that helped establish the law school. In fact, the university used the royal family crest in its seal until about 2016. As the university reckons with its past, it has gifted $500,000 to the Royall House and Slave Quarters to work on research and educational programming. For more information about the Royall House and Slave Quarters, you can find a link on our website, NBC10boston.com.